From Louisiana, Steve Scalise, has a bill that would delay the mandate for individuals as well, and he joins us now. This is the FAIR Act, correct, Steve?
That's right, Stuart. The FAIR Act by myself and Susan Brooks from Indiana.
However, if you abandon the individual mandate, essentially you have gutted Obamacare, and I think, sir, you know that, don't you?
Well, Stuart, the president's acknowledging that Obamacare doesn't work. It's unworkable, it's destroying jobs, but it's taking away good health care for people. That's why he keeps going out and trying to suspend different parts of it for people that he picks and chooses. The president shouldn't be picking winners and losers and saying this group can get reprieve from Obamacare, but hard-working taxpayers don't get that same reprieve. That's why we brought forward the FAIR Act to say every time the president goes out and tries to delay or suspend a penalty for one group of people, it triggers an automatic suspension of Obamacare penalties for regular hard-working taxpayers.
It would gut Obamacare, wouldn't it?
Well, I think the president knows that his laws are not working for anybody, but he wants to keep punishing families and say, hey, I know the law doesn't work. I'm going to give big business a reprieve, but hardworking families, you're going to keep getting it stuck to you by the IRS, and you're going to lose your health care. We want to say nobody should lose their health care. I don't want doctors and patients to be having to literally ration care, take away that relationship by having the government come in and interfere. So we ought to let people have fair treatment under the law. That's what our bill does.
But if this goes through the House, and I'm sure it probably would go through the House and succeed, it might not go through the Senate, but even if it did pass the Senate, the president would never abandon his signature legislation. He's not going to do it, is he?
Well, Stuart, I don't know. The president is suspending the penalties for big business. He is picking winners and losers and saying his signature health care law is so unworkable that he's willing to set it aside for certain people. I think what's angering so many Americans, why you see the president's numbers tanking, is because they see that he's not treating families fairly. He's not treating hardworking taxpayers fairly. Our bill just says, look, if it's good enough for big business, you ought to give that same kind of fair treatment to hardworking taxpayers by suspending the individual mandate for them.
One last one. How do you feel about Senator Rubio's suggestion that we suspend any idea, any possibility of a bailout for the insurance companies?
Absolutely. In fact, I'm a co-sponsor of a bill similar to Senator Rubio's by Tim Griffin, and our bill actually does the exact same thing that Senator Rubio's doing by saying there should be absolutely no bailout of insurance companies. I oppose the bailout of banks and car companies. We shouldn't be bailing out insurance companies under Obamacare. That's in the law. We ought to get rid of that.
Representative Steve Scalise, Republican, Louisiana. Thanks for joining us, sir.
Thanks, Stuart. Great being with you.
If you